California.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Missouri Star Live. We are here with the fabulous Jenny Doan and Cindy Cloward.
And the fabulous.
And the amazing Cindy
you.
Cloward from Riley Blake
I'm so
Designs.
excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. Thank you so much. So, you have an exciting new quilt project at
Yes,
Riley
we
Blake
do.
that you're going to share with us, the Meet the Makers quilt,
Yes.
right? Awesome. We're very excited to see all those fun blocks. But as usual, we're going to do some shout outs from people who are tuning in and watching. So we have
I already
them
saw we
here.
had some Texas. I looked early.
We always have some Texas representing, don't we? We have Terry from Durham, North Carolina, Debbie from California,
Several Oklahomas.
lots of Oklahoma,
And Mississippi.
Darlene from Canada. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you. There's some Riley Blake love coming
to Riley Blake.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we should probably mention who Cindy is.
I did that.
Did you say from Riley Blake?
I did.
Riley Blake.
I said
Riley
that.
Blake. Did she say Riley Blake?
Yes.
Riley
Look
Blake
for that on your fabric edge.
And Penny Rose.
Oh, and
fabrics.
Penny
There we
Rose.
go. I did miss that one. So.
Just making sure I had to say Riley Blake a few times.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So we have someone, Mia from Belgium, watching too.
Ooh,
very,
nice.
very cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Cindy, I'll let you kind of take over and show all your cool things, and I'll just step over here and be an extra hand if you need it.
Okay, thank you. We debuted this quilt at Quilt Market.
Yeah.
And so it was so
Isn't
much
it so
fun.
pretty?
The
So
excitement
beautiful.
around it. And we debuted a lot of
Well,
different
it's
things.
just, this is so happy. This is happy, happy, happy. I love it.
And a lot of people have wanted to use our solid fabrics. So our confetti cottons were used in this. And we are
Great
highlighting
ones.
them.
Yeah, show
And
off
they-
this beautiful kit. It's gorgeous.
So this is a keepsake box, but the kit's going to come in this.
Ooh.
Look at all those
So there's-
beautiful solids.
I know you all want to touch and pet these fabrics, so we'll pet them for
We'll
you.
just all take a turn.
Just take a turn. So
They're
our-
beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
So bright.
They
and
are
happy.
really
Could you
pretty.
slide it
But
forward?
wait,
Wait,
just
let
a
me
hair?
feel it
Slide
first.
It
I want to
forward.
feel if it. I want to feel if it feels like what kind of fabric it feels like, so I can just test it here. Oh, that's nice. That's got a
Yeah.
nice feel to it.
Yeah, we feel like our solids are
Oh, it
one of the
is
best in
nice.
the business.
Yeah.
So
And they have
soft.
such a good hand to
They
it.
do have a nice hand. I was
Yeah.
going to say that, but I didn't know if I didn't know if
It
how
was
that would go over. If people would understand what I meant by a good hand.
It's got a
Yeah.
real nice,
You know.
buttery soft
We like
feel.
to pet fabrics all the time.
Yeah.
So this is a fun box, but before we get started on the box, I wanted to show you something new. It's an old product that's new to Riley Blake. These have been around hundreds of years. Have you ever heard of the tailor's clapper?
I have heard of that because I'm a clothing sewer. I used to be a
Yeah.
clothing sewer, and so yeah, these are the tailor's clappers.
So you can feel that.
So
They're-
smooth.
They're ergonomic. They're made in the United States, and the
Awesome.
design is such that you have a certain hardwood that when you add moisture to it, the grain doesn't raise. So
Okay.
you have to use a particular hardwood to do it. And what it does is you steam your product or your quilt blocks, and when you lay this down on there, it gives you a really crisp finish. And because it absorbs the heat and the moisture. So I wanted to show you how to.
Let's see how that works.
Because if you're a apparel sewer, then you've used knits.
Oh,
So
yeah.
need the iron?
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
And I love this Alyssa iron. It's one of my favorites. So
All right,
pretend you're.
we need to scoot forward just a hair.
All right,
Like
wait,
that?
no, this right here.
Oh, there.
Yeah, there we
Get it
go.
on that.
Yeah, you're trying to shuffle.
The
it.
table
There it is,
stops
yeah.
here. You cannot get on the table. There will be no table dancing today.
I'm really obedient. You tell me what to do. I'm
Move
gonna
forward.
Do it.
You're hilarious.
I love that. Okay, I'll do it.
Sorry, we're way too goofy today.
So
So this is a knit you're using.
this is a knit. I'll move this out of the way. 'cause
Okay.
that's her
You
linen.
just want to show us how it works on some different fabrics. Is
Yeah,
that what what we're doing here?
So you're gonna. You don't even have to even press. You're going to steam it.
Wait, let me.
Yes. Just like that. It's really hard.
And do you have to leave it on for a while?
Just a minute or two. Not even a minute. Just a few seconds for the moisture. And look at that.
Look at that. Look at that edge.
Yeah. So it's excellent, especially
It
on
is
knits
really good.
that tend to turn because this is a jersey, so it rolls.
I do know a lot of people who use this with their blocks because they'll press, 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 and then they just slam that down on there. Well, not slam. Gently persuade.
So this is linen, so you can see how it does with linen.
That's so cool.
And
And
it
I
just
always-
absorbs up that heat and that moisture
Yeah.
and just makes a nice crisp edge.
There you go.
You know, I wondered how it would
And
work
there's
on
wool.
on our woolly because this.
Because it's supposed to kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, does
All
it?
right. So what if you're, well, this is wool, so we can't do a what if on this one because I'm looking for, am I doing this right?
Do a couple more
Oh,
Shots of
presses.
steam.
Yeah.
so
And
my,
you can lay it on there. That's
so
not
what
a
I
problem.
love for an iron is, I want a lot of steam and a long cord. Those are my prerequisites
Yeah.
for an iron and automatic shut off
Yeah.
because I forget to
yes,
turn it
me
off.
too, me too.
And I'm for
That's
some
why this
reason
is
I'm
the perfect one.
that long cord. I just need a long cord and I just love the power. There's a feeling of power when you
With the
push the shot of steam.
So there you go.
Wow.
That's
On the
so
wool, that's
cool.
perfect.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
that's new.
Well,
There's
that's
a
really
there was
cool.
a question.
So do they come in two different sizes then?
Yeah, this is the tailor's clapper for long sleeve seams and for bigger blocks, and this is the quilter's clapper for the small blocks, and it's very portable
gonna
for
say.
quilting.
Good for
It's easy.
travel.
So can we
Yeah.
try one of those little blocks right there?
Sure.
Let's just try that one. Yeah.
There you go.
So we're gonna
And you
steam.
can press, and a lot
Okay,
of times
press.
with blocks, a lot of times this is what I do. I'll throw everything, I'll throw all my blocks down and do this, and then just leave it on there and go do my other stuff.
Oh, so you
Look
don't
how
have to like hold it. I know. Look
that
how
is.
smooth that is. You know,
Yeah, look
Misty,
at
you
that.
need one of these for your quilt snips.
I do need one of these
That
for
would be-
quilt snips. That
yeah.
would be amazing.
And so
Look
when
how-
I'm doing blocks, I just leave it there and then go do some more, come back, and then
It's
because
ready
a
to
lot
go.
of times when you if you don't use steam, you don't
This
do
is awesome,
use
you
starch,
guys. I don't know if you can like really see this, but
your
this is
seams
like
will pop up if
flat,
you don't
flat, flat.
have that weight on it.
Okay, that's really cool.
I'm not sure I'm
Awesome.
gonna be able to get a word in
What
here,
was the-
but with
what-
these three ladies
What?
up here, it's gonna be
We're
intense.
yakking away.
Did you have a question, Jake?
But yeah, they were wondering if the fabrics were pre-washed.
I pre-washed. I didn't pre-wash the wool, but the linen, the white piece of fabric was pre-washed, and I do pre-wash my linen, especially if I'm sewing cottons with linen. They don't shrink the same, so I always.
That actually is a really good clothing tip.
Yeah.
If you're sewing clothing, like say you want to make something out of rayon, if you don't wash that fabric, when you're done with your dress and you throw it in the wash, it will shrink probably 3 inches. So if you're doing
You'll
any
be
kind of
so
clothing,
sad.
Yeah.
if you're doing any kind of clothing, then you want to make sure that you pre-wash that. I even pre-wash fabrics that are like dry cleanable because I want to be able to wash them. So I pre-wash them and then, but that's for clothing. Quilting fabrics don't really need to be pre-washed anymore.
No, the exception is I always pre-wash red.
Red?
So red, if I'm pairing it especially with white, I like to pre-wash it because it does bleed.
'Cause you're just scared.
Yes, yes.
You're just nervous.
It does bleed.
I don't.
So that's the only one I do. And then if I'm doing linens, like I said, I pre-wash my linen if I'm combining substrates on a quilt.
Well, and linen is super good because there is some shrinkage.
Yes.
Right.
And so you want to get that out of the way before you ever cut out your pattern.
And it won't shrink the same as your cottons.
Right,
so,
right.
yeah.
That's awesome. Really
Okay,
cool.
So let's talk about this quilt.
All right, you want me to move this stuff out of the way?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is 5 quilt blocks in this quilt right here, and we're going to go through and talk about all the different quilt blocks.
Actually, Isaac, you can pan over here on this board. We've got the
Yes.
5 individual blocks. Vanna, could you show those? There we go.
Here they are.
So,
Did you
Misty,
see
would you hand me the first one?
This one here?
Yes.
All right.
So this is the alternating block. So you'll see it in this quilt. So
Here.
every other
Oh.
quilt
So
block
let
is
me
there.
see. Where do we go? Here. Like this.
Yep.
Yes.
It's just hard to see it sometimes when you're.
Yeah, hold it up higher so
When
we're
you're,
not in the way.
Oh, how's that?
A good stretch.
There
You're
we
getting your
go.
workout for the day.
There we go. So this shows you, this is the one that appears over and over again.
And it's in different colors, so that's why it kind of disappears. So
Right.
you're going to use different flying geese in there. But I'll show you how easy it is to make because you're going to make 25 of
Right.
these in this
Now,
quilt.
one thing to note on this is not a pre-cut
This
quilt.
is not a pre-cut
It's a
quilt.
yardage quilt. So if you're ready to try something, up your game a little bit. So whenever I do, you can tell me how you do this, but whenever I make something that is yardage, I do all my cutting first.
And we recommend that.
Okay.
So you can chain piece and just get completely organized.
So you're just ready to go, and you don't have to get up and cut and get up and cut and get up and cut.
Yes,
All right.
and
Before we get too far in this, can you tell us a little bit about it? Because it's like a quilt along that you're doing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
So mid-July, the quilt along will be on Riley Blake's blog.
Okay.
And it's all about how to make each of these quilt blocks
Okay.
easily.
So we
And-
get a sneak peek then.
Yes, the pattern, if you buy the quilt kit, the pattern will be included. Otherwise, you have to tune in week to week
On
to
the quilt
learn how to
along.
make the block.
Okay, that's
Oh,
really
that's
great.
cool though. People
Yeah.
love to do that. It's
Yeah.
it makes it in your brain so much easier.
Yeah, and we'll have a video on each of the blocks and easy ways to do it. So if you've ever wanted to make a solid quilt, we think this is a beautiful quilt to start with.
Absolutely,
It really
very
is.
cool. So
It's
that
gorgeous.
starts mid-July then.
And they-
on
they
your
were-
blog.
Yeah.
They're also saying that that it's gonna be available. Yeah, the kit's actually gonna be available here.
Yes.
Yes. So this
From Missouri
kit,
Star.
like we mentioned, is in the box,
Yes,
and
this
everything
one
you
here.
need to make, including the pattern and the binding. The
Do you
quilt
get the
top.
box?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
you
cute.
get the
box?
cute keepsake
And
box.
here's our Kisses fabric.
Oh, it's
So if
Oh,
you're
very
familiar
cool.
with our basic, that's our cute Kisses fabric, and it has this magnetic closure.
to hold it shut.
So it's a
That's
lovely keepsake box. We
Yeah,
love
it is. And it's not available yet, but if you go to the link in the description or the post, you can go ahead and add it to your wish list. We have it up on our Missouri Star website, so you can add it to your wish list and be notified as soon as it's in.
Yeah.
So,
That's actually a really good thing to
Yes.
remind them is that even though we don't have it today,
yeah.
when you put it on your wish list, and that's the cool thing about our wish list is whatever you put on there, when it comes back in,
You'll know.
you'll get a notification
Yep.
for that.
So we
Exactly.
got a few more questions. They want to know where they can get the wood things at,
Like
and they want to know what
clappers?
the wool
I believe you
mat
can
is.
buy these lovely clappers at Missouri Star
You
Quilt
can.
Company.
They're not quite available yet, but they'll be available soon.
Yes.
Yeah, just put those on your wish list. They are actually in transit
Yes.
Those
today.
might not be on the site yet because they're
Brand new.
They're brand new, but they will be coming. So keep your eyes peeled for them. They will be on the website very soon.
And you
Yes.
guys are getting a sneak peek for what we just launched at market.
Yeah.
So this is brand new.
Very
brand
fun.
new.
Very fun.
So
And
Very
the wool
fun.
mat. They want to know what kind of wool mat that was.
Oh, we do have that on the site.
Yeah, that's on the site. This is called.
What is it called,
Do
Mary?
we remember?
the woolly
The
mat.
the wool,
Mary will look
Woolly
it up
what?
for us.
woolly
We'll get back to you
lazy,
on that one.
woolly lady.
Is that right?
I don't think that's right. I don't think I would have bought something with that name.
That
It's
sounds
called-
a little weird. What she said was the woolly lady.
What is it called, Mary?
But
Woolly felted ironing mat.
The woolly felted ironing mat.
Okay.
She's a troublemaker. She is a troublemaker.
The woolly lady. She
It's
makes
just a
stuff.
party.
She got me to
around
say
here.
woolly lady on camera. That's terrible.
Oh, goodness. All right. Sorry.
All right. Whew.
Sorry about
That's
that,
good.
Cindy. We'll let you dive in now.
So this is the first quilt block. We're going to talk about the alternating quilt block, and it's the first one we'll feature in July. And to make it easy, so the instructions are, we're just teaching you how to make each block at a time, but of course you're not going to make one block at a time. We want you to make lots of blocks. So there is an alternative piecing method than just cutting, which is strip piecing.
That makes
So-
everything a lot faster.
So you look at this, and this is the 4-patch, and you're going to line it up like this. You're going to iron it, and then you're going to cut it out.
In your two little pieces.
Yes, your 2 little pieces. So your little center, like that.
Okay.
And
And
then
you get that center from 2 of these. So you'll cut. How wide are we cutting these? Do we know?
1 3/4.
1 3/4. So this is actually going to be really fun for you guys. 1 3/4, and you'll cut 2 of them and just flip them
Yeah.
around and sew them together, and then it's going to make this little block right here.
Cute little 4-patch.
So there we are. There's our middle.
And then the next block you're going to do is you're going to strip piece this. And so all you have to do is iron it, cut off your selvage here, but you're going to cut, I think they're 1 3/4 as well.
So the little strips, and that goes around that.
There you go. And then you've got 4 patches in the corner. So you're going to take your strips of fabric, just like this. Here we go.
hmm And that makes this little 4-patch guy over here,
So we have a turquoise and a navy.
and this little guy over here.
And what I love about these, let me put this, let's see, right
He
there.
goes here.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And then we can slide that to the center.
And what I love about these are Lori Holt's design boards is you lay it out before you take it to the machine. and you can just pile every quilt block on here.
Oh.
And then just
Then you'll just
strip
do
piece.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
And it's all organized for you on a board like this.
That's actually great.
That's really
So
cool.
this is the first quilt block, and you'd start, I think this is supposed to be like this. So assembly is really easy because you're going to start in the center. You're going to sew your two sides. You're going to
Now,
work
do you want to
inside
make
out.
sure that this blue runs all the way through?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So somebody asked the name of the box.
The
What
box is the quilt,
Meet the Makers.
Meet the Makers quilt.
What does that mean? Where does the name come
Okay,
from?
that's a good question. We should explain that. So Meet the Makers is all about our designers are coming together and making quilt blocks. So on social media, you will see the quilt blocks made from our designers. So that's the makers of Riley Blake.
Okay.
And they're going to probably be using their own fabric. So not just solids are going to be used. They're going to show how to use their own fabrics in this quilt.
Oh, that's a great
That's
idea.
And
cool.
so Meet the Makers starts in July, where lots of people will be sewing, and you'll see what they can make.
That will be so fun. So many amazingly talented people. So that will be great to see.
So
all the
your
different
blues want to
versions.
run one way and your darks want to run the
Exactly,
other. Okay.
and that's where you get your Irish chain that's throughout the quilt. So
Awesome.
yes, be very cognizant of where your quilt blocks are turned, because you don't want to make all your quilt blocks and then they're turned the wrong way.
Or have just one.
Just
That's
one.
usually me. It's like this whole quilt, and I'm like, it's all quilted and done, and you're like, maybe nobody will see that.
Yes.
No, that's not true. They do.
So
All right.
that's the first quilt block.
All right. I'm going to
Alright.
hang this back up
Yeah,
on the
let's
wall.
put that back on the
'Cause
wall.
these
and,
are really
and you
cute.
want me to hand this to Sammy?
Yes,
Right?
hand it
You want
to
me to
Sammy.
take those ones too?
Yes.
So they stay
All right.
together.
What's next?
The-
I'm at the wall.
The,
The one right below, kitty
This
corner.
one.
Yes.
All right.
So this is a great quilt block to try a new technique if you've never tried this before. This is the finished quilt block. And you're going to, when you do, you're going to start with your half square triangles and make all of them. And when I make them, I like to chain piece. Do you do
Okay.
this?
I do.
And you just chain all along there, and then you come here, and I just cut them with my rotary cutter. Use your clapper to have a nice press open, and then I again lay them all out like this so it's ready to sew. What I do like to do with this when I'm assembling this kind of block and all the blocks are the same is I fold these all over. Oh, and I do have my pin bowl. Do you have my pin bowl,
I have
Sammy?
pins here. Not a pin bowl, but a little wad of pins on a pillow.
Okay, that's great. So I go,
The bowls are so cute, though.
here, I'll take all these pins. I'll just show you how I
Okay.
do it, and I assemble it.
Do we have a pin bowl, Sammy?
It's
show 'em the pin bowl.
actually in
'Cause
my
I
bag.
actually got a pin bowl last week. A little present from Riley Blake, and
Aw.
I love it.
It's
I love it.
Okay. Well, I have a pin bowl in about 3 different spots. I have it by my sewing machine, I have it by my cutting table, and I have it on my ironing
It's a
board.
great idea.
Because
You use them
I'm
all
always
over.
using them, and I'm getting rid of pins when I'm sewing, and I'm always looking for a spot to.
And you'll
Okay.
notice on this, she's pinning on this side, and I'm assuming because that's going to remind you that this is the side you sew on.
Exactly.
Correct?
So this is how I would do it, and you could just chain piece all of them at once, but you have to do one section at a time, and I'm going to show you why. Because you're going to chain piece here all the way down, and you're going to, once this is sewn together, you're going to bring this back.
Do you want me to sew them?
Yeah,
I can do it real fast.
that would be great. So I'll give
All
that
right.
to you.
So we'll just do these, right? And you've got these all matched up, or did you just pin them together so they stay?
I just pinned them together, so make sure they're
Okay.
all matched up.
All right. We'll just see here.
I'll do it.
All right. So chain piecing just means that you're not cutting your thread in between. And you're giving it to me on the right side? Okay.
all right, I got to clear up some questions here. They're asking about the clappers again, and they're in the mail. So once we get them, we will take pictures of them,
Yes.
put them on
This
the
side?
website, and you will be able to get
Yeah.
them then as
Yes,
soon
they're
as we
coming
get them up.
very, very soon.
There we go.
Yeah.
They
and
got
also-
to our warehouse yesterday, so we just have to get them photographed and up.
All right.
Yeah,
on
and
the
you can look at the new products down
That's
at the bottom,
excellent.
and
So,
they will show
Well,
up.
Do you
there.
hand me the iron really
Yes, I
fast?
can. Oh, here. Can you iron on that?
Yeah.
No, you can actually move that one or put the woolly
Okay.
lady.
If I'm
Just stick that woolly lady on there. This is terrible. We should do something viral.
I mean, if we could make it viral, we'll
I
take
just
it.
kind of, I press that and then I press it open like this. I do finger press it like this.
You just
Oops.
keep moving along.
So I'm going to, now you can either steam or do a nice press like this, and then that's when I just kind of, oh,
Made a little
I'm trying to
rumble.
hurry.
You don't hurry.
Yeah,
You
don't
hurry.
rush. You're fine.
So then the next step is you're gonna go,
Oh, I see. You're just going to add them to that one. All. So then what'll happen here is, you have
She's got
one.
it.
step out.
So this is what happens. This is really cool, you guys. So this is chain piece in a whole block.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that fun?
I love it.
So then you just sew your rows.
Then you just sew your rows, and I do like nestle my seams,
Yeah.
but they're all assembled for you, and it makes
That's
it really easy.
cool. That's a really great idea.
So you just do it all, and then you
And
finish.
isn't this a pretty block?
That's pretty. What do these blocks finish? Like, what do they measure out at?
10
10
inches.
Okay.
Well, 10 and a half because you got a seam allowance. So
Sure.
what I love to do, and is these are Lori's trim up rulers, and this is what you do to square up your blocks. Talking today, and you can put it on here, and you can see how good your sewing is, and see what's on and off. There's always a little fudge factor.
There is.
And we always recommend starting and stopping with the same machine. And if your block's a little big, you have to be careful with trimming. So a lot of times this would need to be trimmed up a little bit, but you do not want to trim up your points because you don't want to cut them off. So a lot of times if it's a little bit big, maybe you just took a big seam. If all your blocks are a little bit big, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
assemble
what
them.
you want is blocks that are the same size. And,
Yes.
and your seam allowance will do that. And
Yeah.
so rather than perfection, we're going for finished here.
That's
Yes,
right.
we are.
That's
Yes,
right.
we are.
That's my rule.
Beautiful.
Finished is better than perfect.
All right.
So next block.
Which one is
This
next?
One. Whoops! If I don't knock it over.
Oh,
And if
There
you guys
we
have
go.
any questions, you better ask them because
There
they're
you go.
not slowing down for anybody.
Yeah, you guys, questions really for real.
So
Look at
just a
this
quick
cutie.
quick way to assemble this block. Again, chain piecing is the key to get this quilt done. But it's all about the process. Enjoy the process of making this quilt. We're not gonna, this is not an overnight quilt. This is not a rush quilt.
Do you know,
This
and
is-
that's actually really an important thing to remember. Some quilts are you're just meant to just enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is probably not one you're going to want to make for something that's happening next week. This
Right,
is one you're going
right.
to enjoy. And the cool thing about that is that now you're offering it as
As a quilt
the
along.
monthly thing. So
Yeah,
you really,
yeah.
even if you wanted to rush,
Yeah,
You
we're gonna
know.
do it weekly.
Oh,
we're
weekly, that's
actually,
awesome.
Okay.
we're probably gonna do it middle of July. We're just finalizing the details.
I think
but
I'm
middle
gonna
of
do
July.
it.
Okay,
I
good.
want to too. I love
I'm going
it
to tune
so
in and
much.
watch.
So again, it's different techniques for a 10.5 inch block, 10 finished. And this one starts out by, again, the half square triangles. So you're gonna make 4 of those. And then you're going to, oh, where's my piece? I don't have a long piece. But then you sew it on so you can chain piece all of these, one block the same size as that. And I do recommend this. So your blocks before you start sewing, your individual blocks, I do recommend that you make sure they're the correct size. This doesn't matter as much as each individual block should be precise. So,
And actually, that is one of the benefits of using pre-cuts is they're pre-cut and they are
Yes.
precise. The other benefit, so when you're doing something with yardage, that each block thing is really important because I'm working on one right now that is a yardage quilt and it's a Riley Blake one, and it's and I actually had to go back because I'm not really a careful sewer,
Yes.
but I had to go back and actually cut those to each one to 3.5 because everything was like.
and if you're off just like this by the time you finish
It
your
multiplies.
block,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be really off.
So it's not sewing, but it's careful sewing. Just be
Yes.
careful.
So,
So
the other question is it, can they buy the pattern without the kit, or is it available that way?
No, the pattern is only in the kit, but if you tune in weekly, you'll get
You get all the information.
you get the information. We
blog.
just won't have like all the detailed cuttings because it took a lot of work to make this quilt, so it
And
is
there's-
part of the kit.
A bunch of compliments on the color. They love it. They
Oh,
love all the different
awesome.
color combinations, and I agree.
It's gorgeous.
So I just wanted to show you this because this is a great tool. It's a square up tool that we make in conjunction with Lori Holt, and it's a non-slip, but it has your 1/4 inch seam guide around. And if you make sure, just do a quick check. If you think you're pretty good, just check a few in your stack and make sure they
They
are
line
all
up
even
pretty
up.
well.
But what I like about this is it has this hard line, so you can make sure your block is centered. So you're gonna sew these two together, and I didn't. Let's see.
We got this one right here. So
yeah.
the long one.
And then
So
this.
there you go. You have a longer piece here, and you've made
This
your.
is a great way to do this block.
Yes, I know.
I may have to do a whole tutorial
I
on
know.
this
I
method.
was thinking that
When
too.
you-
It's so fun.
Yeah.
When you show those
So-
blocks and you pull them forward
Yeah,
just
up
a little
Yeah.
bit,
here.
that's square.
So you're going to
So-
mark it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
go
wanna
ahead.
talk-
No.
yeah.
Well, I just found this one over here, and it's already half. So what she did is she drew the line center to center, and instead of cutting out all these tiny little triangles and sewing them,
Yes.
you just sew straight across. So that is a great method right
Yeah,
there.
that's beautiful.
That's really cool. And then this part just
You're
gets
gonna
trimmed
trim
off
Yeah.
to be something else.
Yes, you could save it.
And
for
that's your
later.
corners. And look how it looks like you worked really hard.
Yes.
That's very cool. Very cool. And the rest is just blocks.
It just blocks, and again, you just chain piece these.
Your
So you're gonna
strips.
chain piece, and so then you've got these two blocks on the side that you've chain pieced, and all you have to do for the center is just add one
Yeah,
center
and I
block.
think what you're meaning by chain piece is strip sewing. So
Strip
you're gonna
sewing,
cut
yes,
two long, a
yes.
strip of white and a strip of blue,
Yeah,
and then cut them into these. What are they? How big are they? What, 2.5?
yeah, they're 2.5. So this
So
size.
this little
this
guy.
is a great tool.
That is a great little tool. And then how do they go? Oh, this
White
way.
in.
White in.
I think.
There we go.
Isn't that how you
Yeah.
had it?
Yeah, I just had to look at this
Yeah.
one over here.
So that's ready to go.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, next block.
This
All right.
one. I'll take that from and this one, right?
Yeah,
I love stars that are set in stars.
yeah, this is cute. This
I
is
love
a cute little
that.
block. This is one I did right before I got on the plane to come see
Yeah.
you.
Misty, can you iron this a little bit? It's
I
got a little bit of a
can.
lift on that one side.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
and then if you'll
literally-
use
I
the
am so excited to use these. Yes.
So there's still a little confusion on how to sign up for the quilt. So I think you buy the kit, right?
You can buy the kit and then you sew along with us. So
Yeah.
buy the kit in the box. You get a keepsake box, the patterns in it, and then sew along with us
And
July 18th.
where do they do
15th.
that? Is that on the Riley Blake
It's on the Riley Blake site.
YouTube or on the
This-
site?
do we sell the kit?
Yes, you sell the kit.
Okay, so they
We
can
sell
buy
the kit. It's not out yet. It doesn't come out till
July.
mid-July, but we have it on the site and you can add it to your wish list. So if you search the Meet the Makers quilt kit, it will come up on our Missouri Star website and you can add it to your wish list and we will notify you as soon as it's in stock and then you can check out.
And then the whole video online series things, which there'll be information in there where to go to, and the whole
Yes.
video online series thing starts in July.
Yeah, mid-July.
So, you get some time to,
we get to sew along. You could actually make this quilt without the sew along, but we want you to sew along with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
there's actually a lot of fun in that.
So much
in that
fun.
community. All right.
So this just has a center block, and you're just going to make, again, you're going to make your flying geese. So my step outs aren't here, but that's okay. We can
Oh.
talk about flying geese. So you are going to, your little square, you're going to sew it onto your rectangle, one side, and then finish it off with the other side. And you just make all these.
Yeah, so these start off as squares, and it's a rectangle. This is probably 3 by what? 1.5?
Yeah.
No.
It's a 1 3/4.
1
I think, square.
3/4.
Yeah.
And then, and you're gonna, this is gonna be a little square, 1 3/4 inch square, and you just draw the line corner to
Corner
corner,
to corner.
or iron it and trim this side off. So these start squares, even though they look like little triangles.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you do that flying geese. And
And you're going to do
that's
4 of
all
those.
these are, is flying
Yes,
geese.
Yeah. And then you're going to add your
And look at this, look how
size.
cute this is. I love a block in a block.
Yeah, it's so happy.
So you add your sides, really easy. And then you're going to add your 2 white squares on the side, so it makes this block.
Cute.
And then you assemble it on like that. So that's your center square, and then the 2 flying geese sides, you'll sew them on the sides of that.
Same
and then,
thing, just bigger, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're just going to add your 2 blocks.
And actually, that's a really cool thing to realize is that once you get your center block, you know that your flying geese has to be this size.
Exactly.
And so when you're, like if you wanted to even do your own pattern and you wanted to put star legs on, you're going to make sure that this rectangle is the same size as this.
And what I do with that is I do, again, check my blocks because you don't want them too large. Up
they
there.
can see,
Okay.
yeah.
So you make sure it's like 5.5 inches and see if that's just a hair off, but it makes a difference. So I do make sure that these are all correct.
Makes a
And-
difference. Does it really?
It does.
I just don't know.
Jenny's not convinced.
It might.
So and then I just take the tops off. Because I've gotten a whole block assembled and it's been off, and I'm thinking, well, and when I do it precise,
Oh,
Again.
no, absolutely. No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on this.
so then you can check yourself. And that's almost,
That's pretty perfect.
yeah, that's pretty perfect. So you
This
got your
might make a difference right here.
Yes.
These 3 threads.
on the other side. And like I said, I rarely trim up. I think I would trim that up.
I think you would. I think you absolutely should.
But I'm mainly an applique person,
Mm-hmm.
and so piecing, I usually don't do a lot of piecing. So when I do this, I'm going to make sure I do it right.
That's awesome.
Well, and honestly, on a quilt like this, you do want to pay attention, and you do want to.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything, but a comment came through and they asked if this was Josh on
If
the
I
microphone.
would just stop
No,
talking?
if Josh was on the microphone. And no, this is
No,
the better sign.
this is Jake.
This is Jake.
This is
Jake,
fake.
he's my
Jake.
husband. I'm married to Jake.
And also, I just want to mention the link for this quilt is in the description on YouTube and on the Facebook.
Okay, so the link.
And the sew along will start mid-July
Yes.
on Riley Blake's blog. So
Yes.
be
Yes.
ready. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so
is
one-
that just RileyBlake.com that they go to get to the blog?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, we'll have all that information gearing up for the sew along.
Yeah.
So
We're just giving you guys a special sneak peek. They
Yeah.
just launched this at Market, so
at
it's
Quilt
really
Market,
brand
yeah,
new.
brand new, just a few weeks out, and we didn't tell anyone about this quilt till we got to Market. So
No, and it's so cute.
So beautiful.
so last
I'm gonna-
block.
Oh yeah.
Let me.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
All
Let me
right.
grab it.
I'm so sorry. There we go.
Here it is.
Here it is, last block.
So cute.
And so what's fun about this, again, it's the same techniques that you've learned in the very beginning. Half square triangles, flying geese, and this one's flying geese.
Yep.
But look at this is reverse. So we've got this one with the white, and then this is reverse.
Oh, that's really
And
cool.
then it makes a pinwheel. How
yeah,
cute.
it makes a pinwheel. So you're gonna make your flying geese again, your 2 squares on a rectangle piece, and then you're gonna line it up. Now I did, I forgot to mention this before, but we do give you in the pattern, we tell you which way to iron.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, the seams.
Yes, because what happens is it doesn't matter on some of the blocks, but this block in particular, you're going to make sure these points are lined up. And so you want to iron a way
Opposite
that
ways.
nestles your seam.
That's
so in the
awesome.
pattern guide, which I think is over there, it tells you to iron
Oh yeah.
inside. So yeah, so
Yeah,
right
so
here, it tells you to iron inside.
Oh, your
So
little
these
arrows.
come in this way.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's really cool. It has
That's
the
great.
little ironing arrows.
so that tells
People
you.
ask me a lot about ironing, and my whole theory is if anybody ever looks inside your quilt to see which way you ironed, they're not your friend.
Well,
But we are looking for a flat block here.
I was gonna say, don't
Some
notice
people really,
that.
really they do love that. They want to know which way to iron. Which way do I do that?
Well, I think it's important for this block because when you actually, would you get that?
This one?
This first block.
Yep.
And I'll show you why. Because when you do right sides together,
Oh,
your
they'll nest.
Yeah, they'll nest.
Okay, perfect.
And then you don't have to go back and try and
Sure.
change it. So.
force it to go where you
Yeah.
want. That's awesome.
So that's the end of this quilt block. I don't know if we have time to show my bowl that I made.
What time is it? How much time do we have?
1:36.
Do we have time?
No.
Is it fast?
Wait, no, we got to wrap it up.
Who wants to see the bowl? Send us hearts
It's
if you want to see the
fast.
bowl. Send us hearts. Are there hearts? Any hearts for the bowl?
No, there's
Cindy
zero,
brought a bowl.
There's literally 0 hearts.
There's 0
Nobody's giving
hearts.
hearts.
Oh, another time.
No, I'm just joking. I'm
There's
just joking.
definitely hearts.
All right, let's show it. Fine,
All right,
let's
quick.
show it.
It'll be fast.
All right, here we go.
All right,
Quick,
Get rid of
quick.
this.
Let me move it.
So I had to make something pre-cut. I had to make something pre-cut for you, Jenny.
Oh, a pre-cut project.
Easy,
Oh, now the
easy,
hearts
easy
are
on the
coming.
Now
hearts.
the hearts.
Easy
So-
on the
Oh,
hearts.
there's
Now
hearts.
they're coming.
Okay, we're showing you the bowl.
We're showing you the bowl.
bowl.
So I made this with a pre-cut because
Oh,
I
very
know
cool.
you love pre-cut.
I do love pre-cuts.
And the only pre-cut I had as I was running out the door was this NASA. So you could do this in NASA.
My son would love that. He's so into space right now.
He is, and so is his dad over there,
Yes.
Mr. Jake.
Yes, it's true.
Oh my gosh, this
I
is
might
really
have to
cool.
leave it.
You might have to leave that.
So look at this. One of the ladies from my church made this for me, and I'm like, I'm going to make this out of a pre-cut. She says she likes to put this in the microwave for hot soup, and then she also likes to eat it with ice cream because the bowl's too hot or
That's
the
a
bowl's
great
too cold.
idea. That's a great
Oh.
idea.
And if you use it, use 100% cotton thread, batting, and of course your quilting cottons, then you can put it in the microwave.
And
it's
it
safe.
won't, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
there's
safe.
no melting.
So really quickly, I'll show you how to make this. And we're doing a tutorial on our on our YouTube channel too. So
Awesome.
you get 10-inch squares, and then you cut batting.
I love the 10-inch squares. 10-inch squares of batting.
And then you're going to draw a line, and I already did.
Both
Draw
directions.
Both directions, and you're going to sew.
Oh,
On
so
that
Straight
line?
across. Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah, do you want to sew?
I can go
Perfect.
fast.
Okay,
She
go
is the-
fast.
The speediest sewer.
Right on the line.
Right on the line. Just going to cross
Oh,
it.
this is what's going to hold it together.
Yes.
Okay. All right, one more line.
Loosen stuff.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so then you're going to get your ruler and mark 2 inches down, and then,
Your centers.
yes, your centers. Where's my little box?
This
And
one?
then you can do like that, and then I do an inch on each side.
An inch
And-
or half an inch?
It
Because that
should
looks
be an
like
inch.
that looks like a half an inch mark.
Oh, it's kind of like, that's.
So here's your half. Here's your
Now you're going to be precise. Okay, where's.
Is it supposed to be a full inch on either
It's supposed
side?
to be a full inch, but let me show you.
Okay.
You do
All
have
right.
a little bit of fudge factor. So you're going to cut down here, and then, oh, do you have a pair of scissors?
They're probably in the drawer. They're right behind you. Right behind me. Okay, fabulous. There we go.
I have a really large pair over here.
So,
Your decorative ones.
so again, I just.
Oh, so you're just making a little dart.
I'm making a little dart.
Oh my gosh.
These aren't.
Jenny's scissors
Grace's.
are terrible.
What happened to them? They're usually great.
Somebody probably used them to cut
I'm
out.
betting those
Someone
are
cut
not good.
paper.
No, that
Cut a
wasn't
wire or
me.
something.
It was not me.
So you're going to cut.
Look at.
Oh, who did that?
Don't
So
know.
We'll sharpen
All right,
them.
Again.
hang on.
Don't worry, guys. We'll get her
So
new
we're
scissors.
cutting. We're cutting
You
in.
don't even have to cut the center. I just realized you could just cut the 2 darts to the
Oh, yeah.
side, and then.
Or like this is how I sew a dart. I just do like this.
Yes, you could.
And then I just sew straight in.
but then it was so bulky, I decided
you trimmed
to.
it off.
To
All
trim
right.
it.
So what I'm doing is I'm starting from the inside and coming out because that's how I do it on clothing.
Yes.
So a dart just makes a little wedge,
and I do a back stitch, so it's
and I'll back stitch for you.
okay. So it doesn't.
Oh, now this one is
unravel.
confusing me because it's already like halfway there.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Awesome.
And one more. And
One
I
more.
imagine you could do this for like deeper darts if you had.
Yes,
Deeper
and
bowls.
I did it shallow because this was actually I just saw what she did,
Right.
and this is a smaller bowl, so you could do deeper
Look, it's
darts.
already there.
So then you're going to have your 2 pieces, put them right side together, and stitch around. Just line those up.
Match
pin
up your
'em.
middles and your edges.
Yeah. And then you're going to leave a little opening to turn inside out, and then you're going to turn them inside out, and then top stitch around, and you're
That's
done.
really cool.
So cute.
That's really cool.
So you could do it for holidays, a party, or you can use NASA.
And what a sweet gift too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's really fun. My
because
kids
I'm
love that.
forever.
On soup
Yeah.
bowls. I know.
Yeah.
That's a
awesome.
great idea.
So there you go.
Thank you,
All right,
Cindy.
we got a
You're
whole quilt.
amazing.
That was awesome.
We
That
got
was
the
quick.
bowl.
That was quick.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
got the
that was
whole,
fast.
the
That
whole
was
quilt,
fast.
5 different blocks.
I know.
Meet the makers.
That's
right.
We've got our Riley Blake
Yes,
clappers.
we have so
Amazing
many
clappers.
fun things happening at Riley Blake.
I know,
Lots of
so
fun things.
many fun things. And I love Cindy.
I love you, Jenny.
Thank
I'm
you so much
happy
for
to
coming.
be
I
here.
love you too,
So
Cindy.
fun when Riley Blake comes to see us. We
Yeah.
love
We
it.
really
Yeah.
appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. Is there anything else we need to mention, Mary, before we
Or
sign
any
off?
questions? Any last minute questions?
All right.
The only question is they want to know who cut paper with the scissors.
I know, right?
I'm betting.
I
it
blame
was-
Isaac.
We're gonna blame Isaac.
The new guy did it.
It was one
There's
of
a
the
lot of
film
finger-
crew.
there's
All
a
I
lot of
know
figure
is my
bending.
husband can sharpen these, and these are going to see him
That's-
this afternoon.
that's
He's
right.
very good at it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us every Tuesday. And as usual, we will be back here next week with something else new and exciting. Thanks again to Cindy
Thank
Cloward
you.
from Riley Blake and to Jenny. And have a happy Tuesday.
All right, we'll see you guys
Bye.
later.